Are you ready for me, are you? Right, so this afternoon's project is the bottom of a wing, and if you follow me I'll show you where it goes. So here's one I've cut off earlier. I'll have to clean up the inside obviously, and I've already made this piece, but I've got to make that with this curve in here and the curve up there, all its returns, and so that it sits on there and looks lovely. As for how many times it takes me to do it, we'll find out. I don't know if you can see from the picture, I've already cut it off twice, had to re-weld it back together again so I know it's the right shape. So this is going to be our pattern for what we're making. So first off, I need to see if it will go on a piece of card so that I can make the shape up nicely and how big I'm working. So a bit of cheap kids card, always the good stuff. Now I've got to make sure it goes on, so I know what size I've got, all my folds, etc. Now let's see if this will work. I'm pressing in, and with all this dirt and dust and horrible stuff, it actually creates, I don't know if you can see that, see the lines forming in the card? Almost like, not etching. You go to church as kids at school and rubbing, that's the one. Do the old rubbings. I'll press it quite firmly. I don't know how well it's going to work, but sometimes it's alright, sometimes it's not. Trying to form the card into the shape of the panel the best I can. That's the tricky bit round there, this crease. I should roughly have a shape. Obviously the return's not on it, and that return's not, because I can't get them out of the card. It's even more obvious on that side. So now we'll make it more obvious. So we have around here, on here, down here. There's also a fold line there, and a fold line there. It's showing me that there. It's showing me that all the way down there. Now I want to find that, the important line, which is two lines. One through there. Through there like so. And then the other side of it, which is here. Now what I'll do is I'll also add on, this should have a fold on the back that runs all the way down there, that's what holds it in place. We've always got the wheel arch, so I'll add that to my upside down drawing. There's the back return edge against the door. And this needs an extra piece that will be folded for the wheel arch. Make it bigger and I can always trim it down. There we go. Now if we make this a little longer. Now I need a straightish edge. Let's just double check that's the right length. That should go in there, that should go in there. Wait to go in a line across there. Now I'm going to cut that up, fold it out and see if it works. Might have got it wrong already because there should be a return on there. I've not added it to this, so I'll remember to do that when I transfer it to the metal. Now that should just going to score the cards so it fold. There's the return for the wing. This is the return for the sill section. And this one here, which is curved. That should be a copy, fits a bit tight in the corners because it's an exact copy, that's how we want it. That goes like that. Now I need to transfer that. Let's put some gloves on. Oh, it gets a bit sharp. To transfer that onto there somehow. And like I say, this might not work the first time, so I have already done the other side, so I've got a rough idea what I'm doing. And what I did last time was section this template up so I could get that curve in the right place. And this is the where it comes in. So this is, as far as I'm concerned, the trickiest bit to get right. So we'll do this curve first. Right, let's check my piece of metal is rust free and clean and tidy. Make sure I've got enough to work with, but I don't want to use up too much metal, so there we go. Now I'm going to mark this out on here. Try to be careful so that the template doesn't move. Right, now I've done that, I'm going to cut this one out. I'm going to cut that one off. These are bits I added on, whereas this is a copy of the original. We know that curve's where the original's supposed to be. Put that in there, that in there. Also remembering that when I draw with a pen it makes it slightly bigger, because we're drawing on the outside of the curve rather than... There we go. That one should go there, which I believe has a very slight curve in it. Now, if I've drawn this correctly, with that one there and that one there, that one there and that one there, this one requires a straight edge again. Through there, through there. And I'll do this one on top. There like that. Down there. Then we know. That's what we're going to be creating. And to make sure we don't fold things back to front, we write inside. And again, we should be looking at something like that. So I'm going to trim this down a bit, but not all the way down, because once I've made that, everything moves and I might have to readjust this. So I'm going to trim that first. Right, now comes the noisy bit. So I need to remind myself as I'm doing this all the time, because trying to make sure things fold up or down is shocking to try and remember. I'm going to score this now. Doesn't look like it's doing much, but in exactly the same way as I scored the cardboard, it should tell the edges where to form. If you look slightly kinked there. Now comes the tricky bit. I've got to do it the other way around on the other side. So, using my template again, which shows up as that there, like so. Now I need to run myself a rough line like so. Back to this wager, and we run on this line this time, hence the lines on this side. Just run it through again, tweak it down slightly. I don't know if you can see that, it's starting to take a shape there, but nowhere near the same as that one. If you look at the end profile there, see, that's not quite the same yet. So this is where it gets noisy. Right, I would explain exactly how I'm going to hit this, but I don't know. I'm just going to hit it and see what happens. It's not there yet, but have a quick look. As you can see, quite a while to go that one, but that one's not a million miles away. Oh, she's getting there. She's getting there. That's getting quite work withable there. Let's see if we can get more definition in this shape. Let's have a look at that, see what that's doing. That should clip there and there. And it does. That one needs a bit back there, but I'm going to start working on his other edges because, as I said earlier, everything moves. And see where all my lines were, they're all in a different, not all of them, but they're in a different place. That one's the same. And that one's the same, so I'm going to work on these two folded edges now because they're the tricky bits. So I need my magic tool. That should be exactly the same as that. There it is. And slightly bigger than that. Lots of checking. Check and check again. I'm happy that that line's correct. So what I want, that has to touch there. Using the template to give me the correct curve. There we go. I'm going to cut that one in a minute. How straight? That looks pretty straight to me. Which means that's a straight line. So I'll make a neater. And there. Take that right off the top there. Right, more tools. That one there, that one in there. That'll be where all those, where both those flanges end. That we don't need. That we don't need. The other issue you have is if I'm folding this over, and that kink there is going to disappear. So we have to I might cut that with this. There we go. getting there. Now comes even more noise. It's giving me a start. Check and check again. If that bottom line's staying on there, that one's on there. Now if I remember rightly with the other one, the corner of this bench is almost the right shape. That should start to look like that. This one's adjusting, but that's fine. That curve runs into there, which is what it does. So it's starting to look something there. Yes, I've got to curve that round, but we're getting there. Back edge now. Oh, lovely. It doesn't fit quite in because it's tight, because they want to be the same size. So that one can't go over that one or inside it, because they want to be the same size. And that seems to be doing the job nicely. This also wants to come all the way over. I'm replicating this flange here, which will attach it to, here's a case I prepared earlier, to that, like that. I'm going to go flattening my flange. That will eventually pinch that in there like that. So I don't want to fold it all the way over. I guess I best put the bottom on it. I'll trim that off, it's at the wrong angle. Let's start that off in the folder. Take one of these teeth out. Oh, they're all locked in. Come on. Oh, trust me to pick the tight ones. Let's check. I don't think it's the right angle. Right. Have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, that's pretty good. It's doing its thing. Now we put the other one on, which I can't do on this one because yes I can. Right, let me just mark this. on the other side so I can see the other side. We should put it there. I have to put a return on there, and I'm trying to work out if I do it now, if it's going to be easier than doing it afterwards. No, I'm going to do it afterwards because this is the trickier fold. Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Old school it is then. Just going to try something that might have done that enough. What's it? Let me in. Let me in, little pig. There we go. I've overdone that one, but only by a little bit. But there we go, that's going that way. Right. Now we have to replicate all this in here. So the way we do that, a little bit of fettling, but trim that out of there. Try it up against the car again. There she goes. Apart from the fact this is flat and it should be curved, now I've got to curve it. So far so good. If you look, that one's curved, that one's flat. So I'm going to cheat a little bit because I don't have a shrinking tool. This one's a bit off because I've welded it, you can see, but nonetheless, there's a curve coming into it now. And with a little bit of work, there'll be even more in a minute. This side will curve as this flange comes down. Unfortunately this panel's damaged, so it's difficult to see how that's coming in really quite nicely now. Let's go and see how that looks. Gap's wrong there because that's too far there. By the time that's in there, that'll come out there nicely. And that'll go in there. This curve here wants a little bit more, but when the two are together, I'll panel them together rather than separately. Almost wants to stay. Look at that. So if I clamp that on there, mark with a pen where it is. Oh, look at that. And because we've got so many curves, I can't cut this with snips or anything, so I'm going to go in with this. That should fit even closer now. That will go in like that. There you go. I'll finish it off later now. There's the two pieces. One there and one there for now.